sugar.
Sugar. We need to cut back the carbohydrates.
Avoid sugar at all costs.
It's the sugar.
Avoid processed sugar. Eat a lot of meat.
We've heard the phrase, fruits and vegetables. Eat more fruits and vegetables. At least 5 a day of fruits and vegetables. We've heard...
So if you didn't know this guy before, here's your introduction. Meet the new low-carb teacher. Same as the old low-carb teacher.
Sugar that occurs in fruit, super healthy. It's natural sugar. It's not like that artificial sugar made of sugar beets and sugar cane. It's natural sugar. It occurs in fruit, so therefore it's magically nutritious. Fructose is 7 times more glycating than glucose. The sugar diet is basically a low-fat, moderate to low-protein, high-sugar diet. Now, even though this is exactly like the standard American diet,
right there, I want to direct your attention to what he said. He just said that the sugar diet is just like the SAD diet. Sure, there's some things in common, but it's not just like the SAD diet. There's some important differences that he's ignoring. And also, he's not being sarcastic here because you can see when I show you the full clip that he went on to say something sarcastic, which is words that he's putting into the mouths of people promoting the sugar diet.
Moderate to low protein, high sugar diet. Now, even though this is exactly like the standard American diet, this is unlike any diet you've ever heard of in your life.
So as you can see, he's saying that sugar dieters are pointing out the differences, that it's different from the SAD diet. But Ken Dingle-Berry here says it's the same. This is something that low-carbers tend to do to keep their narrative alive. They ignore the fact that these certain high-carb diets are low in fat. And they want to ignore the fact that the SAD diet is high in fat. I guess they want to ignore that because their diet is high in fat. People could end up calling their diet just like the SAD diet. Now I want to shift to another low-carb fucker who did something similar about a year ago, equating the SAD diet with something.
If you were to eat only fruit, then you would be getting about 85% of your calories from sugar. And on average...
In other words, from carbohydrates. That makes us carbotarians, which we are. 85, at least 80, a little bit over 80, that 80 being the 80 and 80-10-10.
All of your food in the form of fruit and you get 2,000 calories, that means you need to eat about 4 kilograms per day or about a little over 8 pounds of fruit. Then there's something called macros, and that's how many percent of your calories come from carbohydrate, fat, and protein. We are recommended to eat about 55% of our calories from carbohydrates, somewhere around 25 from fat, and about 20 from protein. But the problem is that the world as a whole has eaten much too much sugar for several decades. And because of that, we have destroyed our metabolic...
The SAD diet mixes fat and carbohydrates, and his numbers aren't even right here. Is this percentages? Percentage of Wait. Let me go back.
And there we are recommended to eat about 55% of our calories from carbohydrates, somewhere around 25 from fat, and about 20 from protein.
He is, I didn't catch this, he's saying that the SAD diet is the diet that's recommended by the U.S. government. The recommendations in the food pyramid are trying to get Americans off of the SAD diet. No one thinks the SAD diet is healthy. That's not the SAD diet. Misdirection. This is like an illusion show.
You can immediately forget what I'm about to say. So sugar glycates your cells and tissues in your body. This means it gums them up and makes them work less efficiently. You can immediately forget what I'm about to say.
"3 years ago, But Thomas DeLauer told me that sugar is like old gross junk sludge and then fat is like high-octane fuel, and he even had jars with sludge and clean-looking stuff to make his point. LOL geez. I'm so sick and tired of how fucked up my body got from intense long-term keto and fasting. Antichrist 8847. 1 month ago. Durian Writer.
And every time in a video that I even mention fruit, I have people comment and said, you made good sense until you talked about fruit. Because
Yep,
it's like this.
That's right. That is right. This is where a lot of people just drop the ball once they get to fruit. I just don't know what people's problem is with fruit, the #1 food of Earth. And we humans are lucky that we happen to be frugivores. We can take full advantage of this great food, which nature makes exclusively to be eaten.
Basically, insulin does everything it can to increase your fat.
This is long-term legendary low-carber Dr. Robert Lustig. This guy's never been thin. He has been fat so long, his fat now has wrinkles. Remember to check back, because there's a lot of good angles I could take with this diet. I'll be talking about getting more specific into the diet and how my diet is similar. I may cover some more people, may cover some reactions of that Thomas guy. Also, Bart K, of course he's into this. It's going to be fun. Oh, and by the way, I predicted this. Years ago. It's just a matter of time. So I'm all over this.